Hey, perfect spirit. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. Now, let's create transformation in your life by getting rid of all this head trash that's creating stress, worry, anxiety. All this stuff is creating a block. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe, like this. I talk about getting rid of the head trash and really stepping into our power. That we have a tendency to think that we need to push, 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 push. And it isn't that way at all. It's the mind that wants to push. When you're really in a place of peace, that's really the energy of transformation is peace. And that peace is always here in this moment, even when it doesn't seem this way. It's sort of like music. If there's no gaps between the notes, it'd just be a buzzsaw of noise. So when you're in life experience, there's also peace underlining it, or it would just be, you know, jumbled of everything. There wouldn't be any space. It would just be like a buzzsaw of noise. But it's not that way. There's this underlining peace that we wish to tap into, because that is our true self. That is our perfect spirit. So today I was just really pondering here for a few moments where we want to really speak today, and a few things are coming up, but I think it's important to talk about spiritual concepts. There's just a lot of spiritual baggage people are carrying around that's not serving them. I know we all picked up these really big, thick spiritual books. I call them like word salads. I'm like, these aren't helpful. They're just adding more head trash, more noise to it. Because somebody was in a group over the weekend asking some question about consciousness. And I'm like, well, consciousness is just consciousness. There's nothing more than that. It's just consciousness. Then he comes back. He's like, no, there's three types of consciousness. There's this, and that. And I was like, interesting. What makes that true? Because we like to have all these concepts and ideas and theories, and it really slows you down. You have to ask yourself, what are you looking to accomplish? Are you looking to experience your true self, to be one with perfect spirit? Or are you looking to, create word salads, stories that prevent you from your truth? We have to realize there's ultimately one energy that is consciousness, that is divine love. But we can start splitting that energy into different things and make it more confusing, if you will. Well, there's Reiki energy, there's this energy, there's this energy, there's this energy. They may be subsets of that, but ultimately it is one energy, one presence, one consciousness, one perfect spirit. So just notice where you're getting hung up on spiritual concepts. And I think the best example of this that I actually got to witness in person was Adyashanti and this other spiritual teacher. He's really well known. He's written a lot of books. But you can see on stage who actually is the embodiment of awakening, of divine love, like fully here in this moment, really present, to his truth. And the other one knew all these concepts and ideas, but he didn't embody that. That was really interesting for me to see that. Someone that lives it and someone that, I don't know how you call it, you can live it or you can intellectualize it, I guess you would say. And that is the challenge of being in the human body. Can you embody perfect spirit? Can you really know perfect spirit? Can you really be at peace in this moment? Or is the mind so lost in collecting words, collecting stories, collecting whatever you wish to call it? It's not this, it's that. And it's usually these subtle forms of head trash. Because usually I have two types of people that usually reach out to me. The sick that want to get better, and the spiritual who want to deepen their spiritual practice. And this other spiritual group, and even the healing group, it's really about pulling out this head trash, these subtle stories that are holding us back from really knowing our true self, who we really are, that we're not the thoughts, we're not the beliefs, we're not the opinions, we're not all these stories, we're not the concepts. It sort of reminded me of Buddha and the story that he shares. He spent like all this time explaining what enlightenment was not. It's not this, it's not that, it's not this or that. It's just simply the aliveness of consciousness, the spirit, that which is beyond words, beyond definition. It's something that you experience that you can't define, or words do a poor job of defining. The best way to explain it is just a deep sense of peace, knowing that all is well, the stress, the worries, the fears drop away when you're in this space. But we're still in this human experience. So we still get phases, touches of I lost it phase, where it's the mind, when you're either like mind thinking or spirit, I got it, I got it, I lost it type phase. And everyone goes through this. And I probably get it, 90%, 95% of the time, maybe 98, who knows? Can't really define it. But most of the time, I'm here in this moment. But I'm also human as well. So the mind grabs me once in a while. I notice, I don't judge, I don't criticize. I just simply notice, like, oh, interesting. Let's come back to this moment. What do I see right now? What am I touching? Oh, what's this? What's this? And really engaging the present moment. We think it's really complex, and awakening is actually very simple. Just to be here without the stories. That's the best way I can explain awakening. Just to be here without stories, without the labels. Anything that's pulling you out of this moment. Because spirit, soul is fully here. Even when the human body is asleep, spirit is alert, noticing, paying attention, recording all these moments. And the mind does what the mind does. So we don't need to criticize it. We don't need to condemn it. It's just doing what the mind does. The mind thinks. The mind loves the story, loves the past, loves the future guess. But that's the mind. We have to learn to live with it, if you will. And it's also important to find that balance, that we can't completely live in spirit, and we can't completely live in the head either. So we need to find this balance where we can fully appreciate spirit while being in this human body, because this body is eventually going to drop away. But spirit will remain, and it may or may not go into a different form. It may choose to stay in a light being, an energy form. There's really no rules, there's no restrictions. You can experience whatever you wish. There's only one consciousness, one spirit. And all these forms were created for consciousness to experience itself, to have all these different experiences. That this human experience just adds to the collective wisdom of the one perfect spirit. But really see how you can simplify life, how you can really break it down. Like, I really have a hard time. I love to read books, but I have a hard time reading spiritual books that really dive into different concepts, different layers of reality, different spiritual realms, different dimensions, and all this stuff. It may or may not be true, but does it help me stay in tune with perfect spirit? Or does it add more noise, more things for me to process? Anytime you're up in here, you're in a place of separation. You're trying to separate yourself from that one perfect spirit. So just be mindful of the mind getting lost into the concepts. And remember, what is the goal? What is the outcome? Is it to really know yourself or to continue life as the story collector? The one that just goes around attaching to labels and stories. All right, well, I'm heading off. Have a great night. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now.